Hecarim, and Gragas.
Band's coming out fairly quickly comparatively to the rest of the teams that we've seen. Rumble and Sejuani are going to be the last teams respectively for either team. So Rek'Sai is the big jungle that's left up on the board, especially with Nidalee also taken away. See if Crumbs is going to go that direction, if he's going to stay true to his Jarvan Nunu that we've been seeing from him.
Yeah, Nunu, of course, a much more popular pick for Crumbs, at least so far. Did see him play Rek'Sai yesterday. Some pretty good success. We'll have to see if he picks it up again. Overall, I like it as a first pick here. And with Hecarim taken away from RF Legendary, he won't be able to lock that in. So maybe Misfits will adopt a different strategy today, maybe something else. We could see an Urgot first pick. Alex Each has picked that one up before. So a lot of options here for first pick, and it's kind of already going to tell us what kind of plan Misfits are going to bring into this one.
Looks like it is going to be that Rek'Sai. We'll see if second rotation for Elomingle takes away the Urgot. I have no doubts that Alex Each will continue to flex on that champion. That said, LeBlanc is also available for him. He found a lot of success on that in the earlier weeks.
Big old Ron, and absolutely one of the strongest top laners, of course, in this tournament. So good on them to shut down that Scion pick from him. Of course, they are going to pick up a Morgana for themselves, as well as the Sivir. They want to make sure that Remilia is not going to get a hook champion. Of course, Thresh still on the table, and she has picked it against the Morgana Sivir before, and obviously won that game as they retain an undefeated record, but it's still pretty rough, as it's really hard to land those hooks normally, and of course with the spell shield. Double spell shield, basically. It's even more brutal.
Has been the trend facing across from her Thresh if she decides to lock that one in. Curious what the jungle is going to be for Zeriab. It is not Shorteris. It is Zeriab. If he's going to maybe look towards the Nunu, or since they have Morgana, look towards the old school Vi pickup.
Haven't seen Vi in a while. Does still do pretty well with the Cinder Hulk. Obviously, her ability to get on top of people, but with the nurse to her Assault and Battery, just hasn't seen quite as much play. See here, though, looks like, ooh, a pretty powerful early aggressive lane for Intense and Remilia on the bottom side. That Nami-Lucian combo, pretty oppressive.
I like the pickup here of the Nami-Lucian, just because obviously if Nami lands her CC, it's fantastic. But against the spell shield and the dark, what is it, Black Shield? I wanted to say Dark Binding. The Black Shield, it's fairly hard to do, but it doesn't take away from the power of Lucian and Nami, just because Nami can still place her E on Lucian, and he's one of the few ADCs, and this is why we saw Lucian become that big pick when he was first introduced and came out. It was that Nami-Lucian, because he's able to proc Nami's E pretty much faster than any other ADC with his double tap.
And of course, Tidecaller's Blessing, not normally seen as a first priority for Nami, but the relative damage when you can proc all 3 hits consistently is just going to be absurd. And we'll have to see if Intense and Remilia can utilize that. And of course, regardless of the fact that you're not going to be able to hit 2 members with that Tidal Wave disengage, you're still going to stop the majority of the follow-up.
Is that a Volibear?
That is a Volibear coming in for Zeriab. And now this is something... I've seen a lot of high-tier solo queue players utilize Volibear. Very excellent dueling potential with the challenging smite especially, but pretty hard to catch people with a Volibear.
It's not hard when you have the On the Hunt and he's just mowing you down. Okay, so Volibear works exceptionally well in the tank meta. Warmogs is super powerful right now. Cinder Hulk is going to give you more cost efficiency out of your tank item just because of how its passive will stack on stacking health. Obviously, this is beneficial to Volibear just on his kit because he is a health-based champion and a regen-based champion, so I'm really excited for this.
It's going to be really difficult to shut this Volibear down. His passive, Chosen of the Storm, obviously gives him just a huge spike in health regeneration, very akin to a Mundo ultimate. Obviously, doesn't get to choose when it procs, but if you don't have sufficient burst damage on this Misfits lineup, Volibear could just run away with the team fight, getting functionally a whole nother health bar, especially if he decides to go with something like a Spirit Visage and that Warmogs as well. As you said, just so ridiculously powerful. But we do see the final 2 lock-ins here. It's going to be Gnar in the top lane for RF Legendary, and it looks like Alex Each going to try his hand at some Corki mid. An interesting composition overall. Pretty strong early game burst.
Their Urgot was available. They found a lot of success. So this kind of tells me that Misfits are trying to branch out, maybe experiment a little bit with their compositions. Like you said, they are undefeated, so they're sitting fairly safely on top of the standings. Alex Each branching out to that Corki, so running the double AD composition. We'll see if that shred is going to be enough to take down Zeriab's Volibear.
It'll be interesting to find out for sure. Maybe just not feeling comfortable taking the Urgot against a team with so many reliable ways to get on top of him. Of course, Volibear with On the Hunt and Black Shield. One of these AD carries is going to get caught, and you can be sure of that. And it's going to be very tough. So now with the dual damage threat, they have mitigated some of that to a certain degree. But the hard engage coming in from Elomingle is just absolutely insane.
It is the quintessential wombo combo composition. You've got multiple ball delivery services. You have the On the Hunt to make things even harder. And really the only disengage tool is Remilia's Nami Tidal Wave. The other factor that they do have going for them on the side of Misfits, though, is that every single champion across the board, except for Nami, are self-sufficient. They all have some sort of gap closer or some sort of way to get over walls, flash away from danger.
Well, we're going to have to see if Elomingle can find the appropriate engages with this lineup, if we will get to see a ball, a Black Shield, and an On the Hunt burns to get that Volibear in there. But, of course, in the meantime, we have about 3 minutes left on the Spectator delay. A huge shout-out to AlphaDraft for sponsoring, of course, the AlphaDraft Challenger League. And to you guys for participating. If you haven't already, make an account over at alphadraft.com. Draftable lineup. They've got some free daily events that you can go through. You, of course, can draft for the NA and EU LCS as well for the coming season. And in the meantime, we'll see you guys in just a few.
Welcome to AlphaDraft, where esports fans win cash and prizes for drafting top fantasy teams. Your mission is this: every week draft your dream team from the LCS pros in that week's matchups. You'll receive a $50,000 salary cap to select your team. Teams have 6 players: a top, jungle, mid, ADC, support, and a flex position which can be filled by any player. You will also choose the team that you think will play best. Players are scored based on kills, deaths, assists, and CS, and teams win points for Dragon, Baron, and Turret kills. Every week, choose from both free and paid contests that will give away thousands of dollars in cash and prizes. Once games start, watch directly from AlphaDraft and see your stats update live. Most contests have many winners, so check back often to see how you match up against other LCS fans. Good luck, and remember, knowledge is money. Be Alpha.
Because you are a strong man. Yes, you are a strong man. Because you are a strong
game of the night. My name, Daniel Dracos. I'm joined by the wonderful Ryan. Welcome back. I can't tell if I started or not. My producer's messing with me. Welcome back to the AlphaDraft Challenger League. It's going to be the 5th and final game of the night. My name is Daniel Dracos. I'm joined by the wonderful Ryan Frosker and more. And of course, we're seeing a 5-point already from both these sides. But it's going to be the Misfits versus Elomingle. Alex each already playing aggressive. Starting for the Misfits, RF in the top lane with that Gnar. Alberto in the jungle on this Rek'Sai. Alex each, of course, in the mid lane on Corki. Intense and Remilia in the bot lane with the Lucian Nami combo. And starting for Elomingle.
It's going to be Big Ol' Ron in the top lane. Zeriab taking over for short race on Volibear jungle. Arc second in the mid lane on Orianna. And then Moonway and Biofrost taking Severe. Morgana. Is it Sivir or Siv? I can't even say it correctly now. I just want to say Severe.
I know. You've said it for forever. That's how RF Legendary says it, I've heard. But it's wrong.
Wow.
Not going to give you any mercy on that one. Twitch chat's always upset with you when you say severe.
They get really, really upset about it. So I will try to reprogram it Sivir. It just sounds awful coming out of my mouth. This is actually one of the few times that we've seen a standardized 5-point, though. Of course, we call it a 5-point because wards and every single member of the enemy team stood at all 5 entrances of the enemy jungle, although it was a bit of a sneaky lane swap. So what Moonway and Biofrost did is they made sure that they were seen on the map down bottom, then backed after they placed the trinkets, and slipped up into the top lane. We'll see if their lane swap goes a little bit better than the last one we saw.
Of course, Elomingle, as a former Challenger League team, formerly known as TSM Darkness, as we repeat so many times, of course, going to be a lot more experience with these lane swap situations, just have more experience in the Challenger League overall. Maokai, of course, starting at a camp before he heads down to farm in the bot lane. No one's shown there quite yet. Remilia and Intense getting a fast level 2, but losing a little bit of wave control by opting to start on those Krugs. So we'll have to see how that affects them. Alberto and RF now starting their double jungle. Maokai returns to the bot lane, hoping this wave is going to get pushed in.
And this is one of the issues of the fact when you don't set up your lane swap wards and how it affects your lane swap is that it forces Zeriab to start on his own side of the jungle. So typically when you do a lane swap, because you have a numbers advantage on one side of the map, it pretty much guarantees that entire side of the map to your jungle. But since they didn't place the lane swap wards, they had no idea where the enemy jungler was starting. We did see that Biofrost peeked his head in there, so saw that Crumb started his blue buff. So should be a freeze versus a fast push because there's no chance of a early pressure or dive in the top lane since Zeriab was unable to move into the enemy side jungle and transition that pressure into the top side.
We may see an early dragon attempt here on the side of Misfits. We'll have to see what they want to do with the Scuttlecry, of course, getting picked up. Hopefully this will give RF level 2. It will give him Mega Gnar. He continues to auto-attack. They should be able to pick this one up themselves. Of course, a huge man advantage on the bottom side of the map. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Sivir left to farm pretty contently alone. Morgana moving down to the bot side to help protect Big Ol' Ron, reduce the chance of a dive, but it looks like we may see a dive anyway. Both Gnar and Alberto are waiting off to the side. Of course, Mega Gnar ready at a moment's notice, but RF slowly losing rage in the situation. They may find the engage here, though. As they go in, they could be in trouble. The knock-up. Biofrost going to drop for first blood. Big Ol' Ron going down next. Intense with some good patience and some good juggling of tower aggro. Going to have to burn Flash, but a quick double kill in the favor of Misfits.
I thought for sure that was going to be a little bit sketchy just because Remilia had used both cooldowns right before the lane swap, the primary one being her big bubble right there, but fantastic tower tower aggro juggle. She actually got tower aggro initially because she stepped forward, placed the ignite, then used the stop key to stand at the very edge of the tower aggro, then stepped back when she had had enough. So great micromanaging from Misfits right there.
And kind of poor positioning from Biofrost and Big Ol' Ron to put themselves behind the turret with such limited space. But of course, Alberto immediately seeing that flashes in, gets the double knockup, and pretty much alone gives enough CC for his team to secure the double kill. Intense now with 2 assists to his name, 1 kill going over to Remilia, 1 kill going over to Alberto. So while jungle kills might not be the best thing, it is going to give a lot of gold already. About a 1k gold advantage in the favor of Misfits.
Really curious though, so Misfits, they take their advantage into the bottom lane, picking up those kill advantages, and then immediately swap their bot lane into the top side of the map without taking the dragon.
Alex Each going to get tossed back here by Zarya. The red buff coming through. He does have the bite available, but Alex Each not going to go low enough quite yet. Just going to be a flash used there by Volibear for some harass, trying to get Arc second, a comfortable mid lane. And this is interesting to see indeed. Looks like Morgana finally backing, gonna head up to the top side to kind of try to help mitigate some of this strength, but Moonway left alone for at least a little or a short period of time means his farm is gonna suffer.
I find that really curious that they moved their numbers advantage off the bottom side of the map when the easiest and most important objective early would be that dragon to secure, but obviously now we have Intense Vermilion into that top side. See if Biofrost and Zeriab can make a change here, though.
Zeriab trying to run in there. Oh, stepping back, trying to avoid the bubble. Not wanting to engage on by Crumbs, but is going to get knocked up. Chosen of the Storm being used, but it's too little, too late as they snag that kill for themselves. Now 3-0 in the kill score and a 1.5k gold lead already. Volibear pretty strong with that passive in those short duels, but with 3 people focus firing him, that passive almost non-existent. Moonway could be in trouble here as he steps forward. Intense walking away with Ignite. Biofrost trying to get the last attack of the last auto attack or binding off there. Amelia going back in though onto Moonway. This quick kill for Amelia, an impressive play and an aggressive play, exactly what we'd expect from a Thresh Master.
Really beautiful 2v2 outplay, not just from Amelia to pick up the back half of the kill, but from Intense to start it off. I don't know if you noticed this, but he actually stepped forward, and he was on that fine line between tower aggro and stepping forward to make sure that the Boomerang Blade didn't hit him on the return, making sure he survived that initial fight to set up Amelia to pick up the kill.
Quick gank in the mid lane from Alberto, going to get that flash, and of course advantages gained in the top lane, mid lane, and on the bottom side, RF more than content to be the only member on his team left alone to farm as Alberto provides so much pressure elsewhere on the map. No dragons or towers have gone down yet, but with 4 kills up for the Misfits, they've already assembled the 2k gold lead 7 minutes into the game. They don't appear to be stopping now. Alex Each matching the farm of Arc second, a little bit further behind, but will be able to go back and get a Sheen pretty quickly if he so chooses. We'll have to see what he decides to itemize here.
And a lot of the snowball, we talked about how Crumbs is the hinge in which Misfits really swing as far as how quickly they're going to run away with the game. Zeriab is bottom, but he's not going to be able to do anything against RF as he still has his hop available. But just the read of, again, we said it was curious that they swapped up into the top lane, didn't take the dragon, although Moonway, he's okay, good spell shield. But for Crumbs to predict that Volibear was going to gank top on the overextended Intense and Ramelia to find the quick pickup right there, just great play. Great read.
And something we talk about time and time again about this Sivir spell shows we see Ramelia get locked down and take a huge chunk of her health out there is that it's only going to block 1 shot from the Coaling, and as Intense approaches level 6 and Moonway continues to take immense amount of damages in these small exchanges, you have to wonder how safe he's going to be in this lane. Black Shield and the Spell Shield not effective against that ability.
Intense certainly looking very comfortable on this champion.
Which is kind of something we see from a lot of these Challenger level 80 carries. There it is, Colin coming out. He's not going to find the kill quite yet. We do see the TP coming in from RF. He is going to get locked down. Baiting in big ol' Ron, though. He instantly turns that one with the ultimate. Intense taking a lot of tower aggro, but going to make it out of that one. Alex Each not going to be able to follow up Intense with this quick sidestep on the Biofrost binding, able to make it out with his life as well. And now big ol' Ron forced to back as he's completely out of mana. RF going to push in this tower. No kills gained, but still 2k gold lead, always in the favor of Misfits.
What's going to be curious now are where Intense or Amelia end up. So RF is also backing. He's hiding his back in the brush. It will be now spotted out by Big... Oh, never mind. Didn't walk into it. And here we go. It looks like it's going to be the swap back. So Intense or Amelia, they take a short stint, break up into the top lane to punish Moonway, make sure that he's not getting all of that solo EXP. And now they're moving their numbers advantage to the bottom side of the map.
And this is because if you see the Avarice Blade coming in from the Lucian, they want him to be able to farm safely. They want him to focus on getting some earlier power spikes, some more mid-game power spikes. And how does the Avarice Blade affect Lucian's scaling? What does it mean to put 800 gold into this item so early on?
It means that he is looking at farming, but hold on, because Crumbs found Zeriab in the jungle.
Not going to pursue this one too hard. Just the Prey Seeker coming out. Will proc the Chosen of the Storm passive, though, so a pretty important cooldown burn there from just that small exchange. And Zeriab will have flash up shortly to protect him in future fights, but no extra healing for sure.
So the Avarice Blade tells me that Intense is looking for a mid-game power spike. Obviously, that item can itemize either into the Static Shiv, which is fairly popular on Lucians if they go in Eye-Edge, or he can turn it into the mid-game power spike of the Yomo's Ghost Blade.
Yomu is, of course, so strong on Lucian just because you can activate the attack speed briefly to get more shots off on the Colin, or just improve your general dueling capabilities, something Lucian already has. in full. Of course, they're going to grab this dragon on the side of the Misfits. First dragon of the game with an extra 6% AD and AP. More than happy to have it, as we've mentioned in the past, though. Not too relevant at this stage. We'll have to see what they do with it in the future. And, of course, a lot of emphasis on the bottom side of the map. Alex Each struggling to trade in this mid lane, but still pushing out the waves. Arcsecond looking pretty confident on this Orianna.
This is one of the few times that I think we've actually seen Alex Each behind in CS to his opponent mid lane Arcsecond, doing a fabulous job on that Orianna. We talked about how Orianna really swung back into favor of the meta with the changes of themes. Likewise, the addition of Luden's Echo and how well it utilizes on her kit.
And it's interesting to see this. It looks like you might be right. We might not have seen the Urgot because of a lack of comfort, but more because Misfits are trying to branch out. We should see how this affects the game as they move forward, especially if Alex isn't too comfortable on the champion. Of course, is approaching the Trinity Force power spike as he has been farming reasonably well in the mid lane. Down a reasonable amount of CS as well, though. See if that delays the power spike too much. Of course, RF could be in trouble, but Flash and the leap coming out, not going to be enough as he gets pulled backwards. We'll have Meganar shortly. So much damage coming out, not going to be enough. The Hex Strings are completely useless against that damage from Volibear and Sivir in that exchange. So a good gank and a good use to On the Hunt. And that's the Volibear I was scared of when we saw the Sivir Volibear locked in at the start.
I'm just already loving the synergy of these two champions together. The fact that On the Hunt gives Volibear so much pressure and power.
And we'll have to see if they can keep that one going. Of course, a pretty short cooldown on the Hunt. And Zeriab using his ultimate as well, but not going to lose out too much for that. Sun Thunderclaws, 100-second cooldown, not so necessary in that exchange. Alex Each still resigned to farming out the mid lane, and it looks like the bot lane has finally calmed down at least a little bit. Lucian not with an itemization advantage because of his choice to take the early Avarice Blade. However, the gold in his inventory steadily increasing, matching Sivir's, both with about 1,300. We'll be able to go back and buy BF swords shortly.
What's fairly curious to me is typically when you lane swap a Severe, she's not a hyper carry like Jinx or Twitch, and it's not like you're trying to protect her from a bullying lane matchup. Yes, Lucian's culling does work better against Severe Spell Shield than, say, Graves' collateral damage, but it's not an awful matchup. She's still able to cancel out a lot of his damage if she uses that ability effectively. Typically, when we see Severe set up into a lane swap, it's for two reasons. Either a fast push where she's just going to try to burn down towers, which we saw that it was a slow push, and when it's a slow push, it's because you want the solo XP on Severe so she can get her ultimate as quickly as possible, and then bring that into dragon fights and use the on the Hunt effectively. The issue is that didn't happen. They weren't able to connect those two dots, letting that first dragon go for free.
We'll have to see if Moonlight can connect the dots as we move further into the game, but on the bottom side of the map, Biofrost and Big Old Raw in the improvised bot lane combo, not going to be enough. Biofrost going to flash on out of that one. Black Shield not fast enough, too late. Intense taking down that one. The Colin coming across Big Ol' Ron. This will be the bot lane turret dropping shortly. Big Ol' Ron with a full mana pool may be able to stop it, but so much raw power coming in for the Misfits.
See if they can transition this into the tower. They have been slowly whittling away at it. It should just be a stiff breeze before this one falls. And as I say that, we see Big Ol' Ron immediately backing off of it, smelling something fishy.
Good things coming down on the blue buff. Looks like they want to give this one over to Alex Each. Take it away from Arcsecond in the mid lane. Kind of limit his ability, spam his abilities, but rinse and repeat in the top lane. RF Legendary going to get ganked, trying to lock down Zeriab, but doesn't have enough mobility at his disposal. There's too much damage. Moonway picking up yet another kill in RF. We've seen him overstep in the past, and it looks like in this game he's kind of back to his roots, not respecting the Volibear-Sivir combo.
And that's the beautiful combo that they have on their team, but the issue is that they're only using it in one lane across map from pretty much the most important objectives that needs to be used on this upcoming dragon fight.
They will, however, guarantee the turret with this decision, so getting at least some of their gold back from this early lead secured by the Misfits. However, Intense and Remelia pretty free to pressure the bottom side of the map as a result. Dragon up in 2 minutes. On the Hunt, luckily, will be available as well for the next major fight, as will Thunderclaws. So neither ultimate used too early. Good timing from them overall. Risky, but it did work out, and we'll have to see what the next itemization from Sivir is. Looks like BF Sword gonna get finished to that tower and kill Gold Spike. Of course, Volibear with mobility boots as well as the kind of challenging smite.
What's curious to me is where Big Ol' Ron is going to be. Now, RF did grab the wave. He is freezing it, taking his time. Obviously, it's very dangerous for Big Ol' Ron to overextend that far without a tower available. Curious
Already
if
you
he'll
can
transition his pressure into the mid lane, especially with Dragon coming up within the next minute or so.
Looks like he may try to get a little bit of vision down on this top side, throw out a sapling or two, maybe try to contest some farm here. Just going to be the ward down on the blue buff area so far. Of course, in the bottom lane, you can see the CS just about evened out. Of course, a little bit more gold in the favor of Lucian, due purely to the earlier Avarice Blade buy. Sivir buying the BF Sword as well as an Avarice Blade of her own, but Lucian getting it earlier means he's going to have the full completed Infinity Edge for this next fight. That's a pretty significant boost for this champion. Have to see if they can utilize it appropriately. And RF, despite his tower being down, still pushing pretty confidently. They do have eyes on the Volibear, so a little bit less scared this time around.
He's built up a very sizable wave as the dragon's going to spawn. He does need his Mega Gnar, though, I believe, to stop the teleport from Maokai, whereas, of course, Maokai can just twisted advance on Gnar.
We'll have to see. RF Legendary either needs to get the Mega Gnar or wait for Maokai to TP first. Of course, Maokai only with the Righteous Glory finish so far. We'll have some pretty solid engage options combined with the teleport. But it looks like they're just giving this one up. Misfits going to secure their second dragon uncontested. And looks like Elomingle just want to wait this one out, at least for a little bit. Get their team together, although they may not have the opportunity. Berto and the rest of Misfits pushing in on the bottom side of the map.
Well, they had an item deficit pretty much across the board. Moonway still sitting on the ingredients for her Infinity Edge as well as her Avarice Blade. On the other side, and Tense having already finished his. Likewise, in the mid lane, Alexish has finished up his Trinity Force, so massive power spike for him.
We'll have to see exactly what ArcSecond decides to itemize yet next. Obviously, Luden's Echo has been pretty popular. Deathcap, though, we've seen as well, pretty much equally itemized. And I think, personally, you're a fan of the Luden's Echo. We'll have to see which route ArcSecond takes.
I love Luden's Echo on Orianna just because we talked about kind of with Morgana that I understood the flat AP, that it works so well with Morgana's ratios, but she didn't have the cooldowns to really abuse it like other champions. LeBlanc, Orianna, Ahri are really going to make the most out of that just because their cooldowns are so low that it's about moving through that as quickly as possible and getting out as many procs as possible.
We'll have to see what they do with it. Of course, Volibear now working on a Righteous Glory next, it would appear. But on the opposite side, Alberto getting the Sight Stone for his team, so maybe a little bit more vision control. But Volibear going to be even more of a threat with Mobility Boots, Righteous Glory, and On the Hunt. Big ol' Ron with a Righteous Glory of his own. This is not a lineup you're going to be able to walk away from, no matter what cooldowns you use. So we'll have to see if that affects the Misfits as they take more steps into this game. 18 minutes in. Still maintaining about a 2k gold lead, but haven't been able to do too much with it recently. Securing a second dragon doesn't affect the game quite yet.
Well, they've certainly been winning in these skirmishes across the map. We'll see if that gold lead that they've built up will continue to help them when we come to a true 5v5 and we get to see the Thunder Bear rushing at a full team.
Thunder Bear, I love it. Big ol' Ron on the top side, forced once again to back off a turret as he watches it die. The rest of the Misfits going to push out this mid lane. Intense. Not quite going to get it. Just going to take, as you would say, a stiff breeze to take that one down. One or two more auto attacks from either of these AD carries, Alexish and Intense. So they should be able to get it on the next wave, although this may be a good opportunity to engage as Alexish gets locked down. ArcSecond not going to follow it up, although taking a large chunk out of Alexish's health bar.
Probably the most trouble we've actually seen Alexish have in a mid-lane match with the Skorkia versus Orianna. That said, Crumbs has certainly stepped up and, excuse me, not Crumbs, Intense. Crumbs obviously is doing a fantastic job, but Intense has really stepped up his performance to kind of fill that gap that Alexish typically has ahead of his opponents.
Yeah, and this is an interesting development from Intense. We've seen Intense and Remelia be solid in the team, be good overall at engaging, disengaging, dishing out damage, but never really the focus for carrying these games. And now it seems like that's kind of transitioned as Intense responsible for the majority of the turret kills on the map, 2 out of 3 so far, majority of the turret damage without a doubt, and just really having an impact. The early Avarice Blade buy and the early lane swap back. Also just very clever play from Misfits overall, but Elomingle, of course, still an incredible threatening lineup with the On the Hunt.
I mean, the question has always been, or excuse me, the observation has always been that Misfits are, carried by Alexish and by Crumbs, obviously the LCS flanking veterans from both North America and Europe respectively. And Remelia, Intense, and RF kind of along for the ride, or at least that was the narrative that was proposed. So it's really refreshing to see Intense and Remelia kind of step up their game and be the standouts for a series.
We'll have to see what their next move is. If they can keep that up. RF Legendary on the top side. Not having such a hot game himself when not given the Hecarim, but of course doing pretty well, at least in the farm department. Matching up Maokai. Does have 2 assists. The Mormogs now completed. Looks like we're not going to see the 80 Maokai we saw from Dardoch, or sorry, the 80 Gnar that we saw from Dardoch last game. Instead,
I was almost really excited, and then he killed
standard.
it.
It's an 80 Maokai. Whoa, 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 whoa.
I think there's a song, right?
Have you not heard the song?
I'm trying to get you to sing it, is what I'm trying to do.
Oh, yeah.
For
no,
those of you
it's
who
not-
don't know, he sings in between every single break. But he never sings on air.
Single break. Yeah. Gotta keep it professional. Gotta keep my 80 carry Maokai references limited at best.
Next point of contention for these teams. I've tried to find a good segue, I couldn't. It's going to be the
It's
Dragon.
okay.
It's 1 minute 20 out. We'll see if Elomingle, I always want to say Elomingle. Elomingle will step up to the plate and try to fight this one. Arc Second is obviously very strong, although On the Hunt has been puffed up.
Zarya finally getting that movement speed. Intense might not be able to make it out of this one. Finally able to make it out using the heal for the last little bit of movement speed, but the Thunder Paws, just so much raw damage. The bubble gonna miss, but finally making it out of that one. RF on the backside. We'll have Mega Gnar shortly. Alex Each ready to go over the wall if necessary. The Colon coming out on the Zaryab. Chosen with the Storm burn as he starts to heal up slowly. He might be able to get it though. Of course, RF on the way in, wants to find that ultimate. The Gnar gonna come in, hitting 3 on the wall, knocked down, knocked up. Alberto with the follow-up, locked down on the opposite side though by a beautiful shockwave. Every cooldown burn, but the Misfits managing to trade only evenly as a beautiful shockwave from Arc Second swings that one back. And an even team fight overall means no advantage gained on either side.
Talking about the tankiness of Volibear for how much damage he just ate in that team fight. Like you said, it started out with a fantastic disengage actually from Remelia, the downtown Nami tidal wave to make sure that Intense didn't die there for burning his flash. They quickly turned the damage back around. RF finds the massive Gnar ultimate into a more impressive shockwave.
Gnar
That's
ultimate
crazy.
into
So
the
many ultimates burned though.
burned I forgot about the Orianna for a second. I forgot about the counter engage potential, but the second that shockwave went down, all the health bars just dropped in an instant. Unfortunately, Misfits able to keep more members healthy and closer to the Dragon. It looks like they will be able to take this for themselves. They're going to bully Zaryab off. The Black Shield's going to stop any of that CC from landing, but a third Dragon means more movement speed, and it's going to help mitigate a lot of the on-the-hunt threat in the next team fight.
And really just the response time for Misfits to get back to that Dragon. I was just going to say, every single ultimate had been burned, and that last exchange, I was really curious how everything was going to break down over that Dragon. But Speedy Shoes wins the day. Get there first, take it first.
Not even Speedy Shoes. Volibear's got the mobility boots. He just can't make it in time because Lucian was
Doesn't have
already
the Rek'Sai ultimate.
Mobility boots, not enough. Not when not paired with the on the hunt. So Zaryab not going to be able to contest that one too well. Doesn't have the man advantage. So third Dragon and the movement speed buff in the favor of Misfits. As you now see a massive wave building in the top lane. The ping's coming out as well. The Misfits may try to group on this one. Clearing out vision. Biofrost on the way in. Big ol' Ron throwing down a sap to keep sight in the area. You have to be careful as how to approach this. Arc Second has Shockwave again, and they may have learned from their mistakes in the last engage. They have to respect the Shockwave.
It's all about how much poke Alex Each is going to be able to lay down before this big engagement comes down. Now, RF did burn the Mega Gnar, not the utmost appropriate time, because obviously they don't want to look for a dive there. Definitely, like you said, going to respect Arc Second Shockwave. Actually, everyone backing off towards Baron.
And this is the big wave clear factor here is obviously going to be the Orianna, but additionally Morgana from Biofrost picking up the early Seeker's Arm Guard is giving him the necessary AP to stop that, but Zaryab caught out, knocked down. An excellent bait from the Misfits, knowing that someone would come check the Baron area and grabbing that one for themselves, and with the jungler not available, they may try to go for this one or maybe follow it up with another pick. They're taking it pretty confidently though, Intense dishing out a lot of damage.
See if Arc Second is able to do something here.
Waiting patiently, the Baron dropping 4k, lower 3k, down to 2 in just an instant. Alex Each trying to find an engage on the Moonway, though Moonway could be in trouble. The Baron still on the table. They are going to secure this one for themselves. Without Zariab, difficult to contest. Moonway dropped down so low. Misfits now with the Baron. Maintaining the 4K gold lead, but the objective favor always on their side.
And unfortunately, poor staggered backs from Elomingle will not only give a free Baron, but a free mid-tier tower here.
And just incredible strength from Misfits and incredible confidence, and looks like they've realized now that they have to be careful how they engage these fights, so they're defaulting back to making picks. Zariab, though, may not be so happy with that. Does he burn the Righteous Glory? Not going to find anybody, though. The tidal wave coming in as a disengage. They may find the engage. RF about to transform. Black Shield may not be enough. The binding stopping that Gnar from hitting into the back lines. Arc Second ready and waiting to use that Shockwave.
Zariab ate every single shot of the Coaling right there and is able to walk away. This Volibear is just so tanky.
And of course, Volibear, excellent health scaling at every point in the game. Both his passive and that bite going to do quite well, especially with the recent buffs. We'll have to see if he can have more of an impact in these coming fights. Frenzy already can do a lot of damage with that active. 400 at a base plus, functioning as an execute as well. So some pretty ridiculous damage if he can get on top of someone, but we've seen him struggle time and time again to do so without that on the hunt.
Question is, are Misfits going to be able to break the inhibitor line or take any more towers with their Baron buff? Seems that they've resigned themselves to farming.
And the game, once again, somewhat paused as we wait for these Baron-empowered minions to start to push in. Misfits feeling pretty confident.
So they're playing with the mid wave as well as the bottom wave. There were pings into the blue side enemy jungle. So we do see now Crumbs moving in, clearing out vision, setting out their wards. I expect we'll play with these 2 pressure points, and eventually Elomingle will make a mistake for Misfits, kind of walking back and forth between those waves, which could lead to a pick, or their tower will just get whittled down.
Looks like they're going to group as 5, forcing Bigglederon to respond on the top side. So they'll just take this second tier tower for free. Intense, throwing out the Coaling. Getting as much damage down onto Biofrost. Biofrost knocked down to about half health as Moonway clears out these creeps quite easily. Does have the Static Shiv, the Infinity Edge, now an additional BF Sword. Not worried too much about tier 2 boots on the hunt, giving him the necessary teamfight movement speed. But does have to be careful. A Bloodthirster almost finished for Intense. And he will have that gold shortly. Already has enough, actually, to finish the recipe if he decides to go back.
Baron should just be about up. So some breathing room here for Elomingle. Next dragon will be spawning in 50 seconds. It will be the 4th dragon for Misfits, should they secure it.
4th dragon, of course, not so important without Baron available, but it will make future Barons easier to take and put them that much closer to the 5th dragon. Zariab clearing out some of these pink wards in the jungle before dragon respawns. There is still vision control in the favor of Misfits as Alberto pushes in to secure more, creating some tunnels as well, making sure he has a way to ult in if necessary, if the teamfight goes long enough that he has a chance to back and return. Sapperling coming out, spotting Alberto out. They know the Misfits are positioned around this dragon. They know the timer as well. We'll have to see if they can test. Sivir coming in from the backside. They have on the hunt available. They're positioning themselves, ready to go in onto RF. RF, though, put it in the back line. The tidal wave coming across. He's going to find the engage onto Moonway. Moonway in trouble. Locked down. Taken out of the teamfight in an instant. The counter engage only hitting 2. Intense in trouble. The heal coming out. Zariab healing so much with Chosen of the Storm, but Intense is just too strong. Big ol' Ron grabbing a kill back, but it might be too little as Arc Second getting burned down. Alberto pushing in. Alex Each providing damage from the backside, but not committing enough. Alberto giving his life for that one. Big ol' Ron going to slowly get whittled down here. Tidecaller's bustling, keeping him from escaping. He will drop, and it looks like 4th dragon going to go over to Misfits, as well as a couple kills in their favor. A 4-for-2 exchange. Only the dragon gained.
Excellent use of CC from Misfits right there. RF got into the backline with the Gnar ultimate. True, he only locked up Moonway, but simultaneously, Romelia was able to find 2 members of Elomingle with her bubble. So you had 3 members CC locked for the first 3 seconds of that team fight, while Alex Ish and Intense just ripped through them. Alex Ish doing a fantastic job making sure that he respected the shockwave zone of Arc Second. So that counter engage, like you said, was only able to really damage and lock up 2 members of Misfits.
And luckily for Arcsec and Alberto, overextending a little bit will give him a kill back, give him a little bit of extra gold, and allow him to finish that Void Staff, so those Shockwaves are going to be that much more powerful. Interestingly enough, going to go with the Death Cap itemization this time around, looking maybe for more defensive stats via the Command Protect. However, on the opposite side, Alex Each, he took our advice. He went straight for the Luden's Echo on this Corki, so a bit more AP and poke focused. And how do you feel about this itemization overall? I know this is like the new popular strategy. Do you think it works well with Corki's kit?
Yeah, Corki does a lot of magic damage inherently. He, like I said, Luden's Echo excels off of champions that are able to quickly rotate through a lot of their spells. It helps synergize with his pushing potential, so he gets a lot of bonuses off of it.
Alberto trying to find an engage here. Moonway and Zeriab running, despite it being a 2v2, respecting the Lucian so much. You can see with the Bloodthirster finish, the Infinity Edge and the Static Ship as well. The wave coming in, trying to zone Arcsec off. They are not going to get this one. Finally able to secure that one for himself. Arcsec taking a huge chunk of life there. Each and every one of those rockets from Alex Each, taking a fifth of his life bar away. That's some pretty insane damage. Not even a big one to hit there.
See what Misfits' next goal is. That Baron will be spawning in 45 seconds. They've shown a lot of respect so far to their opponents, so I doubt we'll see them try to force something. And they should be setting up their wards, moving their vision to the top side as they prepare for this Baron in 30 seconds.
Of course, Remilia has opted to kind of adapt to the game overall with the Talisman of Ascension, wants to mitigate the On the Hunt as much as possible, hoping to get her team out of kind of those rougher situations. And that, combined with the Tidal Wave, has weakened this Sivir comp overall. We'll have to see if they can continue to do so. The red buff going to get taken away by Alex Each here. Try to use that one as effectively as possible. Misfits, though, positioning around the top side of the map. Looks like they will be able to grab this turret. There's no one really in position to stop them from taking this, and just so much raw damage on their side. Means a quick turret taking, but they could get flanked here. On the Hunt is available in just a few seconds.
Flanking into a 10k gold deficit. I don't think they want to chance that.
You gotta be careful too. RF, of course, Maximum Rage will transform in just a second here. Could be their opportunity to engage while RF does not have Mega Gnar, but they have to be careful, as you said. Alberto taking a decent chunk of his life bar away. Just gonna clear out all the vision present in this bush, and oh, that rocket! Biofrost knocked so low by a single shot. Sorcerer's Elixir combined with the Luden's Echo, a Trinity Force, and also the Haunting Guys just doing so much damage.
I mean, effectively, he's an AP Nidalee right now. Ripping
Intense.
through him.
Intense. Gonna drop that Volibear in an instant. Just not enough defensive stats right now. So much health. But when this Lucian is so strong, it's not going to make much of a difference. Was not forced to itemize with the last Whisper, so the full damage itemization coming in for Lucian here, just doing so much. Megatron Cloak indicating a QSS next, but Baron going to be taken down once again. Zeriab taken out. Means an immediate follow-up Baron for the Misfits.
See what they do with this Baron, if this is going to be the one to put them over that inhibitor line or possibly end the game. You have to think, from Elomingle's position, things are looking fairly grim. You're at that 10k gold deficit, 2 Barons lost, 5th Dragon about to spawn in 2.5 minutes.
Misfits love this strategy. If you look at Remelia's itemization, they have the Banner of Command, they have the Baron buff, and this is their favorite way to press their advantage. They don't like diving these inner towers no matter what their gold advantage is. They respect the Orianna, so they just slow push this in. They use the power of the Banner Command to make sure this minion will not drop to the Orianna wave clear, and Sivir cannot approach Alex Each in any way, shape, or form. A patient strategy coming in for Misfits.
Curious that they're not using their Baron buff in multiple waves, however. Especially because they have the double global pressure of the Rek'Sai ultimate as well as the teleport summoner available from RF. Tells me that they are possibly looking for a dive, or at least probably dependent on the poke from Alex Each.
Colin coming out, hitting Moonway for the majority of it. Of course, Moonway now forced back. RF taking a lot of turret damage there. Will proc his Mega Gnar. We'll have to see if they want to go in on this one, or if they're just going to play a waiting game as they protect this empowered creep. Tower slowly but surely going down. This is a brutal way to watch Misfits try to close this one out. Biofrost taking a huge chunk of health there. The big one once again, knocking him down so low. They should be able to push in here. Double Baron empowered cannon creep. Shockwave going down just to try to stop this from happening. Only going to hit Remelia though. The Nami going to survive. They'll now break the inhibitor line. Looks like they're going to back off and move down to the bottom side of the map. Banner of Command cooldown about halfway away. So just another minute before they'll be able to do that again. Of course, Baron buff may not last that long, though. Looks like 5th Dragon on the table.
Likewise, the bottom wave is prepped, so should they want to transition from the 5th Dragon into trying to siege the bottom inhibitor, that option is available. Alex each hanging around. Just like I said, it's almost an AP Nidalee-esque damage, but because you're using the big one rocket, which has AoE damage naturally, and then getting Luden's Echo proc, you're hitting Nidalee spears across 3 people.
Ooh, flash and heal burned out from Alex each there, but as you mentioned, just such a ridiculous amount of damage, and Luden's Echo, such a strong item, making an ability not normally so lethal, just so powerful, and only functionally increasing the AP scaling on each and every one of those rockets by 15% just because of the 0.15 scaling built into Luden's Echo. It's just insane. You can see Alex each showing why this is such a powerful pick and why it is so popular. Of course, regardless of what he's building, though, the Dragon buff going to make him that much easier for them to break the tower line. A Banner of Command empowering a minion, not going to give it unlimited range. We'll make it quite strong. Uh-oh, Alex each getting engaged on. You see the tidal wave across the backside. The Mega Nard going in, hitting a couple of them, but not going to be enough. RF making it out of this one. Zeriab going to try to find the kill. Will have the Frenzy. Pick this one up. Is going to take down RF Legendary, but it's not enough as they push in to break this line. The Super Minions pushing down the mid lane. Intense going to try to find a kill on the Moonwave, flashing in for the last auto attack. Alberto going to try to buff his fantasy stats as his team pushes in to end the game. Moves to take down Zeriab, stopping the back there at least. Vermilion and Intense going to take this one out themselves, and Intense stepping forward, just a sheer burst of damage almost instantly. Arc Second barely making it out. Berto trying to find the kill. Righteous Glory used for the slow. Is going to grab that one on the Unburrow, though, and they are going to push in to end this game. Vermilion Intense. A well-deserved win for both these players as they truly did step up. If they can close it, never mind. Caster's Curse.
Now it's finally got comes there for the extra support, Ron committing to Intense.
Not going to do much of anything, unfortunately. The tower going down anyway. Too many siege creeps. Biofrost going to drop as well. Yet another kill going over to Intense. 5-1 and 10 the scoreline on this Lucian. Shockwave coming in on 2, though. Not going to stop it as Misfits go to 6-0. Elomingle dropping yet another game. And they were so solid in the early to mid game, but just not able to match up against the Misfits.
No, and I really like that the theme of this game was about Intense and Romelia. Yes, Crumbs did fantastic as he always does. Great pressure on the map. Yes, Alexish came up huge as far as helping secure those Dragon and Baron objectives. But the story really was about Intense and him stepping up and him being the true carry in tandem with Romelia there. And that's something that's really confident to see. Again, when you have 2 powerhouse names, LCS veterans and legends as far as Alexish is concerned, one of the best mid laners possibly ever, to say that they're not just the only powerhouses, that you don't just need to worry about them, but you have to worry about this AD carry as well.
Yeah, it's a tough place to be. It's really hard to ban out Alexish already. It's hard to stop Crumbs from being effective in the early game. And of course, now with 2 more potential threats, the pick ban phase only gets more difficult. The actual game only gets more difficult. Misfits showing that they are completely unstoppable. 6-0 so far in the AlphaDraft Challenge League. We'll have to see if that gets changed tomorrow. Guys, thank you so much for watching tonight. If you enjoyed what you saw, tweet out your thoughts with the hashtag ADCL. A shout out to AlphaDraft, of course, for sponsoring this tournament, putting out a large prize pool for these players to compete for. And of course, shout out to you guys for participating. If you haven't already, make an account over at alphadraft.com. Follow AlphaDraft on Twitter. Follow at WellPlayedOrg as well. We'll keep you posted. And make sure to, draft a good lineup. Good luck in your winnings. We'll see you tomorrow.